So hello everyone, let us solve another LeetCode question, that is longest increasing path in a matrix. So in this question we are given m cross n integer matrix and we need to return the length of longest increasing path in that matrix. So from each cell we can either go in 4 directions, that is left, right, up or down, and we can't move diagonally and we can't go out of the boundary of the matrix. So we need to find the longest increasing path in the given matrix. So the question is pretty straightforward. We can understand with the help of first example and try to derive some solution from it. So let us see the first example. So one thing to notice that they haven't specified the starting point. So we need to check each and every point as a starting point and find the longest increasing path. So we can start with this 9 and find the longest increasing path, if it is the longest or not. Then we can start with this 6 and find if there is a path which is the longest increasing path in the given matrix, and so on and so forth. We will try out with each and every point. But if we try out like each and every point as a starting point, and you know that we don't know in which direction to move, either left, right, down or up. So again, if we are standing at any point, we need to try out each and every possible case from there also. So the time complexity would be very large if we do just the brute force approach, because if you look at the constraints of the question, it is like 200. So it will give us the time limit exceeded error if we just do the normal brute force approach. So we need to derive some solution so that it does not give us the time limit exceeded error. So how can we derive that solution? Let us take one scenario and understand it. So let us start at this point and try to get the longest increasing path with starting point as 1. So from here I can go to 6, I can go to 1, I can go to down, and I can go to left. So I can't go here because it is not in increasing format. I can't go here because it is out of bound. I can go here 6 and I can go here 2 also. So we need to explore these two paths again. So let's say we try out this possible path first. So if we are here 2, here standing at 2, we again have 4 possible paths: up, right, down or left. So I can't go here, I can't go here, I can't go here. So only possible path is this. Now from again I have 4 options. I can't go here, I can't go here, I can't go here. I have only remaining number as 9. So if you notice that it is in increasing format and the length is 4, and this is our answer for this example also. So this can be one possible path which is giving us the longest increasing path. There can be various other paths also which will give us the answer as 4, but this is one possible answer and the length is 4. So we will return 4 here. But if we do it in a brute force manner, it will give us the time limit exceeded error. So let us see another scenario, and from there we will derive our solution and which approach to choose. So we have chosen 1 as a starting point here. So let us take now 2 as a starting point. Now from 2 I can go to here, I can go to here, I can go to here, I can go to here. I can't go here because it is out of bound, it is out of bound, it is not in increasing format. The only possible path is here. Now from 6 I can go to here, here, here or here. I can go here because it is not in increasing format, here also not increasing, here it is out of bound. Only possible path is 9. So you can see that this is also an increasing path and the length is 3. But have you noticed one thing here? When we started this when we choose 1 as our starting point, this 9, 6 and 2 were part of that path, right? And now when we are starting with this 2, this 9, 6, 2 are also part of that path also. So didn't we compute this 9, 6 and 2 path again? So isn't it a kind of overlapping sub problem? Like it is a kind of overlapping sub problem. So we can use a DP here in order to reduce the time complexity. Because see, when we started with this 1 as a starting point, we were getting this path. And this consisted of 9, 6 and 2 also as a part of that path. And when we started with this 2 as a starting point, the longest increasing path is 9, 6, 2. and this path is again common in the previous one and the current scenario. So here it was 1 also, obviously. So this part is common in both the paths. So why did we compute this again if we have already computed this in the previous scenario? So this is a kind of overlapping subproblem where we are dealing with same part again and again, and we don't need to compute that because we have already computed in some other scenario. So for that, whenever we have overlapping subproblems, we use a DP. So we need to explore all the possible paths, and there can be scenario of overlapping subproblems, so we will use a DP here. So now the question is what will be the states and the transition of the DP. So let us again try to understand the states and the transition of the DP. Now the transition part, it is pretty simple because the question has said that we can only go in 4 directions, that is top, left, right or down. So the transitions are only 4 possible. Either I will remain, now if we are traversing with the help of I comma j, like let's say I denotes the row and j denotes the column, so we can go in only 4 directions. So this can be one possible direction, and another possible direction could be this, another possible direction could be this, and the another possible direction could be this. So it is giving us the direction of right, it is giving us the direction of down, this is giving us the direction of left, and this is giving us the direction of top. So we can go in 4 directions: top, right, left or down. So this is the transition of our DP. Now what can be the states of DP? It is again pretty straightforward. The states of DP depends on the changing parameters. So you can see there are only 2 changing parameters, that is I and j. Either I is changing or either j is changing. So there are only 2 changing parameters, so the states of DP is 2. So we will create a 2D DP for that. Now we have decided the states of DP, we have decided the transition of DP, but there is still one more thing remaining, and that is the most important part of this question, that is longest increasing path. How will we get to know the current path is longest increasing or not? So again let us understand with the same example where we started with the starting point as 1. So if we are starting with this 1, so when we move here we come across 2. So how did we define that this is a part of longest increasing path? So when we are standing at position 2, we compared it with the previous value. What is the previous value? It is 1. So we compared, is 2 greater than 1? Yes. So it is a part of our increasing path. Then we came to 6. How did we concluded that 6 is a part of increasing path? We compared it with the previous value. Is 6 greater than 2? Yes. So it is a part of the current path. Then we came to 9. So 9 is greater than 6. So it can be concluded, it can be added to our current path. So eventually what our path would look like: 1 lesser than, 2 lesser than, 6 lesser than 9. So this is one increasing path. So we just need to compare it with the previous value. Is the current value greater than the previous value or not? If the current value is greater than the previous value, then it is a path of the increasing path. Otherwise we need to return from there because there is no possible scenario in which we can get the increasing path. So this was it about the explanation. So let us write the code now and understand in more deeper way. So let us write the code now. So we have given that it is a m cross n matrix. So we have declared m and n as the size of matrix, and we will create one answer variable which will store the longest increasing path. Now we need to initialize our DP table. So we know that it is a 2D DP. So we will create a 2D matrix or 2D vector and let us name it as DP. and the size of dp would be the same as the size of matrix, so it will be m cross n, and we will initialize all the values with -1. So we have used dp because of the overlapping sub problems, and we don't know the starting point, so we need to take each and every point as the starting point, and we need to process the same thing again and again. So we will check from each point as a starting point, and we will do a kind of recursion, or like we are doing a recursion, but eventually we are storing it in a dp table. So we will memo as the solution. So we will do the same thing by taking each and every point as a starting point. So this for loop is for that. We are taking each and every point as a starting point and doing same thing again and again. Now this is the function which will do the same thing again and again. We will write this function in few minutes. So we will compare it with our current answer, and whichever is the maximum, whichever path is the longest increasing, we will store it in our answer. So, and in the end we will return this answer. Now what we need to give the parameters. Let us give the parameter first. So we will start from I and j as the pointer. So we will give I and j as the parameter. Then we will give the size of matrix or the size of dp. We'll pass our matrix, we'll pass our dp. Now another thing that we need to keep in mind is that we are starting from this point and we need to compare it with the previous value for the longest increasing path. But if we are starting from a particular point, what could be the previous value? What will we give the previous value? So it doesn't matter whatever previous value we give for the starting point, because eventually it is the starting point, so it can't have any previous value. But still we need to find the longest increasing path, and if you see the constraints of the question, the values are all positive. So we can give a -1 here just to adjust the starting case for the dp, or starting case for our solution to work. We are giving it as the -1 as the previous value that we need to compare with, because it doesn't matter, because it's just a starting point and it can't have a previous value. But still for later cases we need some previous value, so we need to initialize something for the starting part also. Now for the starting point, if we need to get the increasing, it doesn't make any sense, but still we need to get some increasing part, so obviously we will initialize it with -1. So this was the initialization. Now let us write the solve function. So it is we will traverse it with the help of I and j pointer, and we will just use this matrix. We will just use this dp, and we will have one previous value. Now what will be the base case? Now one base case can be we don't have to go out of bounds. So if I is greater than equal to m, or j is greater than equal to n, or if I is lesser than 0, or j is lesser than 0, so we are actually out of bounds, so we need to return 0 from there. So we will return 0. Also there is another base case, that if a path is not in increasing format, that is if our current value, that is matrix of I comma j, or if our matrix of I comma j is decreasing or equal to the previous value, so that means it is not in increasing format. So again we need to return 0, because this will not contribute in our path. So this was the base case. Now for overlapping sub problems, we will write the dp, the memoization part for the overlapping sub problems. So we will return dp of I comma j. Now for the transition part, we have 4 options: left, right, down, or up. So we will write for the left part. So for the left part, what we are doing is, if we are standing at the 9 here, we are going to the left part, only our j pointer is changing by -1. So I will remain as it is and j will be -1. Now for right part, our j will be incremented by 1 and I will remain as it is. For the down part, our I will be incremented by 1 and j will remain as it is. For our up part, our I will be decremented by 1 and j will remain as it is, and the rest all parameters remains same except for one, that is our previous value. So m comma n comma matrix comma dp, again m comma n comma matrix comma dp comma one more parameter, that is previous. I'll show you what will be the previous value. Now previous value. Now if we are let's say we are standing at here and we are going towards up part. So what would be a previous value when we are standing at 9? Obviously 6. So our current value will be our previous value for next case. So our current value would be the previous value. See again, like if we are standing at 6, now we are going towards left, let's say. So if we are standing at 6 and we are going left, so when we are standing here, what will be our previous value? Obviously there's 6. So when we are transitioning from 6 here to 6 here, we need to pass this current value 6 as our previous value for the next case. So that's why we have taken the current value as the previous value for the next case. Obviously for the next case, our current value would be the previous value. So this will remain same for each and every scenario. So what we need to return now is, and we will obviously store return our dp for overlapping subproblems. Now whatever maximum value of increasing path we will get from all the 4 direction, we need to take the maximum of that. So max of all 4, left, right, up and down. Also we need to add 1 also, because the current path or the current value is also being added to our path. Let's say if we are standing at 6 and we are going to 8, so let's say till 6 we have some length of longest increasing path. Now if we are moving to 8, this 8 will also get added to our longest increasing path. Now what length this 8 will contribute? Obviously 1, because it is the single value. So that's why we are adding 1 to our maximum path. So this is how this code will work, and let us try to submit if this works on sample test case. So it is giving some error. Matrix undeclared. So I have written this spelling wrong. Let us try again. So yeah, it works fine on sample test case. Let us try to submit this. If this gets accepted. So our solution got accepted. Hope you learned from this video. Thank you.